Welcome back to Decked Out.
On today's episode, we're joined by Maldhound and SchulzCubed, and each player has brought to the table a commander that matches the theme of today's mystery theme. Make sure you guys leave us a comment down below if you can spot it.
As always, thank you to our sponsors, Tales of Adventure, Moxfield, and Ultimate Guard, and today's episode sponsor, Elgato, but more on them later in the video.
That's enough from us for now. Let's go ahead and meet the players and their mystery commanders.
Hi, everybody. My name's Maldhound. You can find me on TikTok and YouTube talking about how good your commanders are on the board and in the sack. Today, I'm here to show you all the dangers of allowing a hot woman to dig through your garbage with Narset Enlightened Exile. She gives all your creatures prowess, herself included, and whenever she attacks, you get to exile a non-creature, non-land card from anybody's graveyard and then cast that spell without paying its mana cost. So while my deck is full of many tiny instants and sorceries to make sure that when she puts that gripper on you, it leaves a dent, I will be helpfully looking through all of my new friends' graveyards for big bombs to cast and hopefully win the game.
Hi, I'm SchulzCubed. Today I'll be playing Sidisi, Brood Tyrant. She enables a bunch of my graveyard synergies and the occasional spicy meatball. She's got a hipster quotient of 74, so many of these cards you shouldn't have seen.
Hello, everybody. I'm MTGNerdGirl, and today I'm playing Ishai as a color-fixing partner to Ikra Shadiki. And my deck cares about butts. Really big butts. So I'm going to be playing a ton of walls that are going to give me card advantage, and then follow those up with cards that allow my walls to attack and deal damage based on their defense.
I'm Airball, and we're going to help the table have a spiritual awakening today. We are playing Go Shintai of Life's Origins. That's right, it's the Shrines deck, and you love it or you hate it, but you know what it does. It puts Shrines into play. Those Shrines are great by themselves, making opponents discard, helping me draw cards, killing my opponent's stuff. But also, every time they do, my commander is going to put tokens into play that I can double or even triple, and then run over the entire table with my tokens.
Today's episode sponsor is Elgato.
Not only does Elgato have the best equipment for streamers and from working from home, they also have the best equipment for playing Commander over Spell Table. Whether you're looking for crisp audio or a clear webcam or even a green screen playmat so you can put my face as your battlefield.
Nobody should do that. But they also have a ton of other accessories for gamers who are looking to play consoles. My favorite is the Elgato Capture card. And with this sponsorship, we have 5% off code and link down below for you guys to pick up any of the audio, capture cards, you name it. Everything Elgato has. Oh, green screens. That's how we use green screens for streaming and also to put your face on your spell table. Nice. So make sure you guys use the link down below and the 5% off discount code to support the stream.
All right, that's enough from us. Let's get to the game.
Welcome to the table. Let's see who goes first. 2.
9.
4.
If we don't look at what I got, it's a 20. If we don't look at what it is.
All right, I'm going to lead off with this Spara's Headquarters and pass the turn.
Seems good. I will follow in suit. Opulent Palace, pass.
Y'all are gross. I'm going to play the Seachrome Coast, which comes in untapped because I don't have enough lands because I'm a good upstanding citizen. So you said you're on green, right? What's your commander?
I have 2 of them, in fact.
2 of them.
One is green, one is not.
Okay, I don't like that. You're on shrines, though, right?
I am on at least one shrine. Yes.
At least one shrine. That means officially, I trust you the least. So I'm going to tap it to play Peek. I'm going to look at your hand.
Is it reveal or look?
Look at. So just I get to know. It's going to be our little secret.
You could tell us.
Ooh. 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 Yeah, okay.
All right.
Yeah, okay. And I get to draw a card. And then I will pass.
For the turn, I'm going to play a Manor Gate. It produces green and the color of my choice when it comes into play, and I'm going to choose black for the remainder of the game. And I'll pass turn.
All right. I'm going to play this Sea of Clouds untapped because I have more than one opponent, and I'm going to use it to play this Sanctum Weaver. It's an 0/2 enchantment creature. It taps to put X mana of any one color into my pool, where X is the number of enchantments that I control. And I'll pass.
I'll play out a Twilight Mire and cast a Satyr Wayfinder. When Satyr Wayfinder ETBs, I reveal the top 4 cards in my library, and I can put a land from among them into my hand, mill the rest. We'll pick a forest. Notable blood operative in the graveyard.
I'm going to play... Well, I'm going to tap the Seachrome Coast to play Visions of Beyond. Visions of Beyond just lets me draw a card. If a graveyard has 20 or more, which none of us do, I would draw 3 instead, but I'll be content with my 1. And then I'm going to play a Glasspool Shore, which enters tapped, and I will pass.
All right, well, if Maldhound's doing blue stuff, I feel like it's only reasonable that I do green stuff. So we're going to go Plains for turn. And for 2, we're going to play Sylvan Carotid, an 0/3 defender with hexproof, and I can tap it to add mana of any color to my mana pool.
That's fine. That's fine. Hey, you know what? It's fine.
I'll pass.
All right, I'm going to pay 2 to cast a Farseek. I can search for plains, island, swamp, or mountain, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. Sure, I can definitely not put another forest into play, and I'm going to instead put this Zagoth Triumph into play, which is a swamp, island, and forest. And I guess I will just keep the land train going. We'll play this Rogran Triumph tapped, and I'll pass to Schultz.
I'll add to the green creature party with an old Rutstein.
Nice.
When old Rutstein enters the battlefield and at the beginning of my upkeep, I mill a card. If it's a land card, I get a treasure token. If it's a creature card, I get an insect token. And if it's a non-creature, non-land, then I get a blood. Treasure Cruise. And with Treasure Cruise, I'll get a blood token.
I'm going to play a mountain for turn and then tap 3 to ascend in a very Jeskai way. So now whenever I cast a non-creature spell, I get creatures I control get +1/+1. They get untapped, and I may draw a card. And if I do, I have to discard a card. That's all I've got for right now. Pass.
Let's start with an island for turn. And I'm just going to be boring. I'm not going to ramp or anything crazy. I'm instead going to play Arasta of the Endless Web.
Okay.
Yeah, that's boring for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
She's a 3/5 with reach that says whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell, thanks Jeskai, I get a 1/2 green spider token that also has reach. I'll pass the turn.
I'm going to play this Savannah. And we're going to pay 3 for this Relic of Legends. It's a mana rock. 1 mana of any color. Tap an untapped legendary creature you control to add mana as well. And then we'll pay 4 for this Honden of Night's Reach. It is a shrine enchantment. At the beginning of my upkeep, target opponent discards a card for each shrine I control. It's a little weird playing my shrines before my commander is in play, but I know my opponents also have explosive starts coming, and I need to get cards out of their hand as quickly as possible, so they have to come down first. I'll draw more for sure. I'll pass to Schultz.
Untap, trigger old Rutstein. Mill an island. We'll get a treasure token. I'm thinking it's commander time. Go ahead and play a snow-covered forest. And I will play Sidisi Brood Tyrant. When Sidisi ETBs, or when Sidisi attacks, I mill 3. If there is a creature in the milled cards, I make a 2/2 black zombie creature token. And trigger Sidisi. And Deathrite Shaman counts. So we will be making a zombie. We'll hold back. Pass turn.
Okay.
Give me spiders, Maldhound.
Can we go a whole orbit without giving NerdGirl a spider?
No.
Is that a possibility?
Jeskai
What are
certainly
you gonna
cannot.
What are you gonna do for me if you want me to go a whole orbit?
I'm not asking you
not
to
use-
do it. I'm asking if as a table we can accomplish the feat.
It's theoretically possible, but it requires me to sit here holding my cardboards
Acceptable.
and watching the game. So go ahead and make a spider. I'm going to play Burst of Speed, which gives creatures I control haste until end of turn. Look at that, I have none. But because I've cast a non-creature spell, Jeskai Ascendancy is going to trigger. I'm going to choose to draw a card. And since I did, I'm going to discard a card. I'm going to discard Past in Flames. Don't worry about what it does. It won't be relevant at any point. And then because I cast an instant or sorcery, I'm going to cast a discounted Stormwing entity, which is a 3/3 flying elemental with prowess. And when it ETBs, I get to scry 2. Terrible, keepable. Okay. So one's going to stay on top. One's going to go to the bottom of my library. And from there, I will pass the turn.
For land, I'm going to play a Talaria West. Comes into play tapped. I'm going to go ahead and start with a Wall of Blossoms. It's an 0/4. When it comes into play, I get to draw a card. And for 2 more, we're going to go ahead and cast a Wall of Roots. An 0/5 that says I can put a -0/-1 counter on Wall of Roots to add 1 forest to my mana pool. Play this ability only once per turn. And I think my butts are going to just stay home past Airball.
How many cards do people have in hand?
4.
5.
Exactly the right amount.
Let's change that. Schultz, how about you discard a card for the Haunted of Nights Reach trigger?
Wizard's Spellbook.
How much of a threat do I want to appear to be?
How much of a threat do you think you currently appear to be, my guy?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm like. How much worse could it get?
You got the hand rip shrine out, and your commander farts out shrines every time you breathe. Like,
I can't quite do what I want to do yet, but we'll set up. We're going to play Primal Vigor. It's an enchantment. If 1 or more tokens would be created, twice that number of tokens are created instead. And if 1 or more +1/+1 counters would be put on creature, then twice that many counters go on it instead. And that's going to make things pretty crazy because that is a symmetrical effect. You don't see too many symmetrical effects in Magic anymore, but Primal Vigor is going to have a massive impact on the board. Not only does it double my tokens, it doubles everyone else's too, and there's spiders, and I'm sure Monastery Mentors in Maldhound's deck. Things are about to get wild.
Oh, tokens?
Tokens.
Oh, I'm going to get so many spiders.
ooh, okay.
Oh, and you're going to get a lot of tokens.
And you're going to get
And
a lot
I'm
of
gonna
tokens.
Well, right now,
Maldhound
I'm gonna
gets
be
nothing.
sad. as the only person with no token generators on the field
Yeah,
right now.
Jeskai Ascendancy has never dealt with tokens in its life. All right, and I'll play the World Tree as my land for turn. It basically makes all my lands tap for whatever color I please, as long as I have enough, which I do. And I can pay double Wooburg to put any number of gods from my deck into play. And then we'll pay 1, 2, 3 for this Sanctum of Shattered Heights. Another shrine, legendary. Pay 1, discard a land or a shrine. Sanctum of Shattered Heights deals X to target creature or planeswalker, where X is the number of shrines I control. And that's me with my pants down. I'll pass.
Untap, trigger Old Rutstein. An island, and we'll get 2 treasures. But Airball's tapped out, so we'll go ahead and swing Sidisi at Airball and trigger.
That's your commander?
Correct.
Okay. I will take 3 commander damage.
So I'll go ahead and cast a World Shaper. When World Shaper attacks, I may mill the top 3 cards in my library. When it dies, return all land cards from my graveyard to the battlefield. Tap it. Play a Dismal Backwater, gain 1 life. I think I have a few too many treasure tokens. And that Sanctum Weaver scares me. So we'll go ahead and sacrifice 3 treasures to cast a Grist. Grist is a creature unless it's on the battlefield, but it's +1, creates a 1/1 insect token. -2, I can sacrifice a creature to destroy a creature. And -5, each opponent loses life equal to the number of creature cards in my graveyard. The relevant mode, or the mode I would like to use, is the -2, sacking out my Satyr Wayfinder to destroy 1 Sanctum Weaver, please.
Fantastic. I am no longer the threat.
Well, about that. Well,
The beautiful thing about Primal Vigor is that it has made everyone except Maldhound the threat.
yeah.
Pass the turn.
I will play the Temple of Epiphany as a tap land for turn. I will scry. I like that. I am going to NerdGirl. We're friends, right?
I think so.
We're friends. We're buds.
I feel like we're
buds.
friends.
If I give you just like so many spiders, they're not going to come at me, right? If I just give you like 1,000,000 spiders, they're gonna kill other people.
I will say we're friends, but I also think you have no choice in giving me 1,000,000 spiders, so I'm not going to make any deals in regards to that.
Oh, okay.
But
pass.
we're presently
No, pass the turn then.
Great. That's fine with me. If you do nothing all game, that is also good. I'll get the spiders eventually.
NerdGirl told me that they were playing a big butts deck, which puts us on the same team. So I tried to extend an olive branch, and what'd she do? She clapped it straight out of my hands. No more. We're on draw go play now.
Planes for turn. All right, I'm going to go ahead and tap 4, and we're going to start with one of my commanders. Ishai Ojitai Dragon Speaker. It's a 1/1 with flying. This is whenever an opponent casts a spell. Any spell. Put a +1/+1 counter on it. And it has partner.
And that, of course, will be 2. That'll be doubled by Primal Vigor.
Yeah, she's going to get real big. And my second spell for turn is going to be, we're going to put a -1 counter on my Wall of Roots. And we're going to tap here. And I'm going to play a Doran the Siege Tower. It's an 0/5 that says each creature assigns combat damage with its booty. I think I will pass.
Okay, on my upkeep, the Honden of Night's Reach is going to trigger. I'm going to have to make someone discard. I don't want it to be Schultz, who's actively trying to fill his graveyard. I don't feel like Maldhound is a significant threat yet. So, NerdGirl, I'm actually going to have you discard 2 cards.
I guess I should have attacked you.
Yep, I wasn't going to try to convince you to do it, but like...
Well, I thought we were friends.
I think it is finally Commander time.
It's farting time, boys.
We're going to start farting all over this board with Goshentai of Life's Origin. It's a 3/4 enchantment creature. It is itself a shrine. You can pay Wooburg and tap it to put an enchantment card from your graveyard onto the battlefield. And when it or another shrine enters the battlefield, then you make a 1/1 colorless shrine enchantment creature token. And in fact, because of Primal Vigor, that's going to be 2. So here they are.
I'll get 2 counters on Ishai.
Mm-hmm. And I think we have mostly stalled out at this point, so I will just pass.
Go ahead and untap. Upkeep trigger Old Rutstein. And we'll get 2 treasure tokens. All right. We'll go ahead and plus up Grist 1 to mill a card. Make an insect token. It is not an insect. It is not a creature. So we'll just get a bug.
You'll get 2 bugs.
2 bugs.
We're going to go to combat. I will attack Sidisi and World Shaper, both at Airball. Triggers. World Shaper first. With Sidisi second. And we got a hit. So I will make 2 zombies.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. Go to blocks, I guess. And Goshentai will jump in front of Sidisi, and one of the shrines will jump in front of World Shaper.
All right. The Sidisi is dead.
And so is a shrine.
Play a forest. Cast a Sidisi.
I'm going to get 2 counters on Ishaya.
Sidisi trigger.
Okay, so we're just letting, yeah, all right. We're just letting the birds do whatever they want. Got it.
We'll go ahead and make 2 zombies, milling over our Master of Death. Pass turn.
All right. I'm going to tap 4 and play Narset. Everything has prowess now, or everything I control. Sorry, not sharing. Whenever Narset attacks, I get to exile a target non-creature, non-land card with mana value less than Narset's power from any graveyard and copy it, and I can cast a copy without paying its mana cost. So now Storming Entity is just able to prowess all over you, because it will have prowess once, prowess twice, and then +1/+1 from Jeskai Ascendancy, even though that's not technically prowess. So that's, I think, 3 additional power coming onto them for every non-creature. If only I could cast any of those. Pass to you.
With your commander, I will get an extra 2 counters onto Ishaya, and she's now a 7/7 by the time it makes it back to my turn, which is not terrible. Airball can make people discard their entire hand every time it's his upkeep. Thankfully, I have the lowest number of cards already, so I'm just going to prioritize playing those cards and not playing my commanders until I'm hellbent. My land for turn will be a Golgari Guildgate, going to come into play tapped, and I don't want any cards in my hand, so we're just going to tap 4 and play my last card. It's going to be an Ancient Lumberknot. It's a 1/4 that says each creature I control with toughness greater than its power assigns damage with its booty. I'm scared of everyone, but Schultz needs to stop doing scary things.
Schultz is fine.
I feel like we have far too friendly an opinion of Schultz because their zombies are represented by a cute little pink die instead of actually being a board covered with zombies.
Yes. So we're going to go ahead and try to deal with multiple things, I think. Schultz. Ishaya is going to come in for 7 to Grist. And Airball, we're going to send two big booties to you, my friend. 5 and 5.
Okay, then I'll go to blocks, I suppose. And I'll throw the shrine under the Arasta bus.
Schultz?
No blocks.
Great.
Just delete it.
And I'll take 5.
Mhm. And I will pass the turn.
We'll go to my upkeep. I control 3 shrines. How many cards do people have in hand?
0.
6.
Got him.
Exactly 3.
Let's get those out of here.
That's so much closer to decimating a hand.
Closer than to 0?
Yeah, but you don't want to take everything.
Oh, come on. If you can get someone hellbent, you have to.
I had the 3 picked out. I was I was so certain it was coming to me. Schultz, you already know.
That one's going in your graveyard, so don't get too excited. You put all your good juju into it, and it's gonna go bye-bye.
Well, let's play a new card. We'll pay 6 for Odra Talk, Deepest Foundation. It is a 6/6 vigilance, and if one or more creature tokens would be created under your control, 3 times that many would be created instead. And when he dies, return him to the battlefield, flipped and tapped under its owner's control.
I'm gonna get 2 counters.
You are. And the Goshintai is going to stay home, and we'll pass.
All right, we'll go ahead and untap a couple of triggers in the upkeep here. One I'm most excited about, we'll resolve first, is Master of Death. Master of Death, if it is in my graveyard at the beginning of my upkeep, I may pay 1 life, which I will, and I will return it to my hand. Go ahead and trigger the old Rutstein, mill over Grizzly Salvage, and put in 2 blood tokens. So we'll go ahead and cast the Master of Death, because he's got additional abilities. And when Master of Death enters the battlefield, Surveil 2. So I will Surveil 2, triggering Blood Operative.
I will gain 2 counters for your spell.
So I will pay the 3 life. And Surveil 2. And go up to 7 on our zombie count. Move to combat. I'm going to swing Sidisi again at Airball and World Shaper this time at NerdGirl. Triggers. And we'll hit once with an Underrealm Lich. And once with a Death Plume Ritualist. So we'll go up to 11 counters.
Cool.
That checks out.
No blocks. I'll take 3.
Goshintai will block Sidisi.
We'll play a Swamp. And cast a Blood Operative. Blood Operative is a 3/1 with lifelink that whenever it enters the battlefield, I may exile target card from a graveyard. When I surveil, if Blood Operative is in the graveyard, I may pay 3 life to return it to my hand.
Are we going to exile a card?
I think that we should, yes. We'll take care of that Past in Flames that isn't going to do anything no matter what anyway, right?
Yeah, I didn't need it. Didn't need it.
Past turn.
Schultz, we're friends, right?
I'd like to think so.
We've known each other many years at this point.
Many, many years.
I'm going to play a Mountain as land for turn.
It's a great lane, friend.
Let me pour a little sugar on you, friend. I really need to be able to swing Narset. And I really need them to not die when I swing, because look at my land situation versus whatever's happening with all you. Now, in return, if you let me, the deal I'm proposing If you let me bounce Narset off one of your insects, so you don't even take damage, but just bounce Narset's foot off its little face, I'm going to go into your graveyard and get Death Sprout and take care of Ishai for us.
You can swing Narset at me. I will not kill Narset.
Okay.
But if you wanted to kill a World Shaper at some point, I wouldn't necessarily be very upset.
Oh, you wouldn't hate me if at some point in the future I could kill a World Shaper. Yeah, I could think about that for you.
World Shaper's getting through way more than it needs to. In order to get this creature in the graveyard, I might need some help.
Okay, so we're going to tap one mountain for the Soul Scar Mage. This is a 1/2 with prowess. If a source I control would deal non-combat damage to an opponent's creature, I put that many -1/-1 counters on it instead.
I'm going to go to 14 counters.
Yeah. So I'm going to tap 1 and a blue to cast See the Truth. Now, because I've cast a non-creature spell, everything on my board will poop its pants a little bit. Everything gets +1/+1 from Jeskai Ascendancy. Narset gets another +1/+1 from Prowess. Storming Entity gets +1/+1 2 more times from Prowess. And the same happens to Soulscar Mage. So these two get +3/+3. Narset gets +2/+2. And then on the cast trigger, I will also choose to draw a card and then discard a card to Jeskai Ascendancy. I am going to discard Transcendent Message because I don't think I'm living that long. And then See the Truth will resolve, which is look at the top 3 cards of my library, put 1 into my hand, and the rest on the bottom in any order.
And while you're looking at those, I also have some triggers to resolve. I will get 2 more spiders, and I will go to 16 counters.
Okay. Then I'm going to tap 2 for the Young Pyromancer, which is a creature, but is a spell. Whenever I cast an instant or sorcery, I make a 1/1 red elemental so I can get in on some of this Primal Vigor cheating that we've all been doing. Then, still in main phase 1,
I'm gonna get more counters. 18.
Yes. I am going to convoke Stoke the Flames, tapping all my creatures to do so. Deals 4 damage to target creature or player. I'm going to send it at... There's a lot of terrible options for this right now. I'm going to send it at Arasta, actually. So deal 4 damage to them, which will be dealt as 4 -1/-1 counters. So Arasta will become a -1/1.
Okay, so on my board, I'm going to put a -4/-4 on Arasta. Stoke the Flames is a instant or sorcery, so we will get 2 more spiders, and my commander, Ishaya, will go up to 20 +1/+1 counters.
Phenomenal. I will not be doing the draw and discard part of Jeskai Ascendancy, but I will be untapping everything on my board. And now I will move to combat. No, I'll swing it at Schultz regardless. So it's a 7/8 coming at you. And then on the attack trigger, before we worry about declaring blocks, I get to exile a non-creature, non-land from a graveyard that has mana value less than 7, and I get to cast it without paying its mana cost. So we're going to go on a little adventure. I am instead just going to grab my own See the Truth from my graveyard, exile it, and cast it. We'll get another set of triggers on the stack. The power toughness triggers don't particularly matter because we're already in combat and only Narset's swinging, but she will go up to a 9/10 for this combat. She will get untapped from Jeskai Ascendancy. I am going to choose to draw a card and then discard to the other part of Jeskai Ascendancy. I'm going to discard Quicken, and then See the Truth will resolve. I think you get 2 more spiders.
2 more spiders and 2 more counters.
And then I will pass priority to blocks.
I will throw a Master of Death in front of Narset.
All right. I'm good with that. Master of Death will die. Narset will be fine. Oh, I will make 2 more elementals off of the Young Pyromancer trigger from my See the Truth, and then I will pass the turn.
Let's start with a Wall of Omens, an 0/4 defender. When it comes into play, I get to draw a card. And because I know I'm not going to get to keep my hand, I'll just play all my cards. We're going to play a Seagate, and I will name Green. Well, as promised, Schultz, your deck scares me. So Ishai is going to come across the table for a hefty 23 points of commander damage.
That seems relevant.
Got anything you can do about that over there, Schultz?
I do not. No, I'm tapped out. I had to discard my hand last turn.
That's crazy. Why would you have to do that?
Kind of rough.
All right, then I'm going to tap this Relic of Legends, and we are going to Swords your commander.
No.
But you're going to get a boatload of life.
Yeah.
Oh my god. This is a life gain deck
23.
now. Well, it'll go to 25 because...
Oh, yeah.
Gain 25.
Ishai got big quick. If it wasn't for Airball's death save throw, I'd have been out. I owe him more than just the one round.
Well, I see no reason not to just run it back. And she'll get there quickly again. I have faith. All right, thanks to Wall of Roots and Sylvan Keratin, I can pay the tax, and that'll be my turn.
Okay. So upkeep, Honden is going to make someone discard 3. Maldhound, I guess that's you.
Hey, man. I have him picked out. I'm ready to go for you.
Well, I don't have much to do. We're going to pay 2 for this Herald of the Pantheon. It is a 2/2 creature. Enchantment spells I cast cost 1 less, and when I cast an enchantment, I gain a life. And we're going to pay 4.
I'll get 2 counters.
You will get 2 counters. And I'm going to pay 3 for a discounted Anointed Procession. It's an enchantment. If an effect would create 1 or more tokens under my control, it creates double that many tokens instead. So for those keeping track at home, we are doubling, tripling any number of tokens that get made on my board. Unfortunately, I am hellbent. But I will gain 1 life from the Anointed Procession.
I'll get an extra 2 counters.
I don't think I have any good attacks with the Osier Talk. So I think I'm just going to have to pass to Schultz and rely on you to keep people honest.
This is my specialty. Go ahead and untap. Trigger Master of Death. And trigger Old Rutstein. I feel like killing a World Shaper, buddy.
I mean, I'm hellbent. I think so. I think I am Team Chaos at this point.
All right.
No.
1 World Shaper at Airball, please.
Do you have anything bigger as well?
Nope.
I think everything is kind of tiny.
Is that all you got?
I got a lot of little stuff. Trigger World
Sure,
Shaper?
you can have your trigger, yeah.
2 more lands for the land god.
All right, I will block with Goshintai.
All right. World Shaper will die. With the trigger on the stack, I'm going to go ahead and crack 1 of these blood tokens. Just in case.
Land players got it.
What have you done, Airball?
I mean, I'm trying to
I
stay
don't know
alive.
if there's a tremendous amount of room for you to talk in this scenario. I mean, I'm with you in spirit, right? But you have the Superman bird and enough spiders that, frankly, I would burn this building to the ground if they were real. That's
Same.
a lot.
A couple of lands. Go ahead and pay 4 mana for Tameo, Collector of Tales.
What a card.
Spells and abilities opponents control can't cause me to sacrifice or discard permanents.
Oh.
I can plus Tameo to declare and foresee the top card of my deck, or I can -3 to return target card from my graveyard to my hand. And that feels like the right decision here.
Yeah.
So we will -3 Tameo to return a target card from my graveyard to my hand. And we will get a Price of Fame. Price of Fame is a 4 mana instant. Destroy target creature. If it is a legendary creature, it's discounted by 2. And it also allows me to surveil 2. I think this keeps Team Us alive for at least 1 more turn.
Does it? I don't know. I have worries about Maldhound over there. But
Don't worry about me. I'm just a little monk. I'm just a little monk. I'm just gonna kick you in the face a little bit.
We will pass over to the little monk.
I'm gonna play a plains for turn. I'm going to. I mean, the pain has to start sometime, so I'm gonna organize my board to track these triggers a little bit better. The things that have multiple instances of prowess are going to go over here, and the things that only have Narset's instance of prowess are going to go over here. We're going to tap 1 red to cast Expedite. Target creature gains haste until end of turn. Draw a card. Jeskai Ascendancy and prowess will go on the stack. So these 2 creatures...
I'll get spiders and counters.
Yeah, so these 2 creatures get +3/+3. This whole group gets +2/+2. For Expedite, I'm going to choose Blood Operative. Gets haste till end of turn, buddy.
Sweet.
You're welcome. I am going to elect to draw a card and discard a card for Jeskai Ascendancy. I'm going to discard Monastery Mentor, and then I'll draw a card to resolve Expedite.
Discarding Monastery. Okay.
Don't worry about what's about to happen, okay?
I don't think your Price of Fame is going to do it, but I feel like...
I'm going to tap 1 white for Myth Realized, which is, hey, it's an enchantment. That's a non-creature. Whenever I cast a non-creature spell, it gets a lore counter, and then for 1 white until end of turn, it becomes a monk avatar creature with power and toughness equal to the number of lore counters on it. And I see things in your graveyard that I want in my life, and so we're going for them. I'm going to tap a blue to play Cloak of Feathers. Any 1 creature gains fly until the end of turn. You draw a card. Another +3/+3. Another group of +2/+2s. 1 more. Draw and discard. I'm going to discard a mountain. I'm going to choose Narset as the creature that gains flying until end of turn. I'm going to draw 1 more card. That's so real of me. And we're going to get a lore counter on Myth Realized.
We'll also get some spiders, though I believe they are not long for this world. And we'll get some more counters as well.
Okay, and then I've cast 2 instants and sorceries, so I'll put 4 new elementals into play for Young Pyromancer, but these 4 will be summoning sick. Yeah, and so I'm going to move to combat.
Before combat, before Narset swings, where are we thinking attacks are going? What are we looking at for cards out of the graveyard?
Could I sell you? Right? Could I sell you on sending all the boards back to hell? Because you have a necromantic selection in here. And at that point...
I could go for necromantic selection.
Right? Because then I'm not the problem. All my stuff is dead.
Necromantic selection.
The council will accept necromantic selection as the target. With all that in mind, we will move to combat, and then because the rules are made up and the points don't matter, I'm just going to swing Narset, and we'll say for argument's sake that it's swinging at Airball. But as soon as I declare the attack, I'm going to choose to exile Necromantic Selection from Schultz's graveyard. I will cast it without paying its cost. It is destroy all creatures, then return a creature card put into a graveyard this way to the battlefield under your control. It's a black zombie in addition to its other colors and types. Exile Necromantic Selection. We're going to get a ton of triggers. Young Peasy will go on the stack, making 2 more. They are not long for this world, unfortunately. Another counter will go onto Myth Realized. I will get a whole bunch of power and toughness changes to my board. And on the Jeskai Ascendancy trigger, I will draw a card and discard Lorien Revealed. And then I believe you get more spiders.
They will also die, though.
Yes. And then Necromantic Selection will resolve. Everything will die. And this is in exile now. So everything will die. I'm going to choose...
Well, before you choose, there will be this death trigger. Ojotok will not actually go to the graveyard. It will flip.
Got it. I'm going to let Narset go to my graveyard. And I'm going to take Narset back.
Cute.
It's much less threatening.
Yeah, this is now pretty friendly time we're having, and then I'll pass.
I am going to just tap 5 for my commander, Ikra Sidisi the Usurper. She's a 3/7 with Menace that says whenever a creature deals combat damage to a player, gain life equal to that creature's toughness. And that's it for me. I'll pass.
Okay. So at the beginning of my upkeep, we control 2 shrines. How many cards are in people's hands?
1.
2.
Also 2.
Let's get Maldhound hellbent this time.
I'd put you in a really good spot, though, my friend.
So did Schultz. I'm going to pay 6, and my commander will hit the board once again. We're going to make a shrine, except instead of making 1 shrine, we're going to make 4 because I have 2 token doublers in play. And I will play this land for turn and pass. I am hellbound.
In your end step, I'm going to use up some mana, and I will Price of Fame the Narset anyway.
And then it will go to my command zone.
And I will Surveil 2. I will mill both and trigger Blood Operative. I will pay 1 to sack a blood token. Discard Blood Operative and draw a card. I will tap 2 to Surveil 5. Trigger Blood Operative. Sack another blood token. Get rid of the operative and draw a card. I guess Disinformation Campaign. When it ETBs, I draw a card and each opponent discards a card. Whenever I surveil, return Disinformation Campaign to my hand.
Discard Hold the Gates.
I regret decisions now. That card's fun. I'm sorry. So we will recast Sidisi. ETB trigger. And Thought Down Phantasm will give me some zombies back.
We are 2 turns from all dying at Schultz's hand.
I will cast Nyx Weaver. It's a 2/3 with reach. At the beginning of my upkeep, milled the top 2 cards in my library. I can also pay 3 to exile Nyx Weaver to return target card from my graveyard to my hand.
Okay, forget the 2-turn clock. Graveyard's already his hand.
I will cast a Night Veil Sprite. It is a 1/2 with flying, and whenever it attacks, I surveil 1. I will uptick Tameo, naming Villainous Wealth. No hits on the Villainous Wealth, but Titania and Argoth both.
Oh my god.
In that 4, so we will make 2 more zombie tokens.
Okay. I'm going to tap out for Narset. Even better the second time. And then pass the turn. Yeah, Schultz's next turn is about to be hell is empty. The devils are here.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play this Wall of Blood. Wall of Blood is an 0/2 that says I can pay 1 life, and Wall of Blood gets +1/+1 until end of turn. I mean, I still have not found a single thing that lets my walls attack.
Ooh,
All right, sorry, Maldhound, 3 damage.
that's fun.
Before you do that, I think I'm offering to let you swing at me.
Why?
Because I have a turn cycle, and whatever I draw is going to have to be directed at Schultz, otherwise we're screwed. So Schultz is already going to be motivated to kill me, and I think Maldhound has a better chance of actually doing something to him than I do, so maybe we can bait Schultz into attacking me instead.
I mean, I don't care as long as I gain a life. 3.
Okay.
I'll gain 7.
No blocks.
Nice.
Nice. We got there.
Pass.
So in my upkeep, I'm going to trigger Honden of Night's Reach. I'm going to choose to make Schultz discard, even though Tameo's in play, because I think Maldhound needs the material and Nurgirl's Hellbent anyway. So Schultz, discard a card out of spite.
Fair enough.
I drew something pretty good. Nurgirl, can I attack you?
You want me to return the favor?
I just need to attack with 3 or more creatures this turn.
You know, honestly, I'm surprised and proud of you for asking, because I thought you would have never wanted to mess this up.
Oh, yeah, Maldhound, can I swing at you?
But no, I will allow you to swing.
No. Maldhound, can I swing at you?
I mean, listen, we all move through this life doing whatever we want. Do you need all three of them to live?
That would be ideal.
Okay, you know what? Sure.
Okay.
You know what? Sure.
I will take the damage. I was saying good job on your growth as an adult.
I know, and I realized that couldn't happen. We're Peter Pan over here. I'm going to swing 3 shrines at Maldhound and keep one of them home.
Okay, I've taken the 3.
Taken 3.
I'm declaring no blockers.
Fantastic. Then post-combat, we're going to pay 2 and a white to flip Temple of Civilization back into Ozurtok Deepest Foundation. So Ozurtok will come into play tapped. Let's pay 2 for this top deck of all time, this Go Shintai of Lost Wisdom. It is an 0/4 flyer. At the beginning of your end step, you can pay 1. When you do, target player mills X cards, where X is the number of shrines you control.
Arena MVP, Goshen Tile.
Well, it's currently 8.
He's gonna get so many from the doublers, right?
Yeah, so we have 2 doublers and a tripler in play. So that 1 shrine will be times 2, times 2, times 3 is 12 more shrines.
20.
So that gives us 13 untapped shrines. So that is 13, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 total shrines. And I'm going to try to pass to end step.
I will try and get a land out of my library before it goes away.
Yep.
Why would you do that? Don't you want the extra cards in your library?
This is mana. Mana is good.
Oh my gosh.
How many cards in library, Schultz?
28.
Oh.
Okay. I think I am not long for this world, but hopefully I can, help you guys deal with the Schultz threat. We're going to pay 1 in my end step, and Schultz, you're going to mill 20 cards. Putting 20 more cards in Schultz's graveyard might seem like a pretty bad idea because he's using his graveyard to try to win the game. But I'm hoping he doesn't have a great way to do that without drawing cards, and if he's got no cards left in his library, he might not be able to win.
So Nyx Weaver is now an almost universal tutor.
Oh no, he looks like a kid in a candy shop. No.
This is great.
This was either going to let him do abominable things or kill him, or both.
So this will trigger Sidisi.
Oh.
Pass.
All right, so untap, upkeep, couple of triggers. Nyx Weaver says mill 2. And we've got a Genesis trigger on the stack as well. I am not going to pay the 3 for Genesis. This has been decided. Go ahead and draw. I'm going to go ahead and activate Nyx Weaver. I'm going to return a Strixhaven card from my graveyard to my hand. Harness Infinity.
Ha.
So I will cast Harness Infinity.
Harness Infinity is a 7-mana instant. Exchange your hand and graveyard. Exile Harness Infinity.
Nobody let him get World Shaper off again. He's going to ramp too much.
So we'll start with combat like any good turn should. And we are going to swing most of the team. I think Sidisi is going to sit this one out. We'll go in for 12 at NerdGirl, 1 in the air at Airball.
1 in the air at me.
Damn. just to send a message.
I'll block with the flyer.
Just so you know what's coming to you.
I will take the 12. I have no blocks.
I'll take the 0. Best friend.
All right. And we will develop from there. And speaking of best friend cards, we will tap 6 for that finality that we were discussing earlier. I may put 2 +1/+1 counters on a creature I control, and then every other creature, or then all creatures, get -4/-4 until end of turn.
Funny thing about that card, it's way better to play when multiple prowess triggers have made everything on your board a 35/35. And not.
You didn't get to live those reindeer games.
I know. I did not get to live in the magical candy land of resolving 20 prowess triggers.
So no effects from anyone?
I have effects. I will lose 3 life. to pump up my wall of blood so it will survive the fine and finality.
I will scry without the S.
I am going to lose everything except Dozier Talk.
Yeah. Narset will go back to my command zone. Their tax is now up to 7 to cast them. No, 8. Sorry. Bad at math. 8 to cast them.
We will play land per turn, being Argoth, the Sanctum of Nature, which pairs nicely with Titania, Voice of Gaia.
Titania, Voice of Gaia, a 3/4 with reach. Whenever one or more lands are put into your graveyard from anywhere, you gain 2 life. At the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 4 or more land cards in your graveyard and you both own and control Titania, Voice of Gaia and a land named Argoth, Sanctum of Nature, exile them, then meld them into Titania, Gaia Incarnate.
They can't keep getting away with it. They can't keep... Airball, you've got him, right?
So if Titania melds with Argoth Maldhound, does that count as 1 green card screwing us all over, or is it 2?
It'll be 1. It'll be 1.
There's no reason to hold up mana, so we'll play a Whip of Erebos.
Whip of Erebos is a 4-mana legendary enchantment artifact. Creatures you control have lifelink. You can pay 4 and tap it to return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. If it would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. Activate only as a sorcery.
Oh, of course, yeah. Hey.
Just to round out the team. At this point, I'll move to discard.
Yeah.
And then 1 or more land cards are being put into my graveyard. So I will gain 2 life. And with that, I'd like to pass turn.
I'm going to tap a Plains and a Mountain for Seeker of the Way. There are 2/2 with Prowess. Pretty spooky. And then, move of the turn. I'm going to tap 3. I'm going to put a lore counter. I'm a little guy. A little guy. This will be a 3/3 if I ever turn it into a creature now. And then I pass.
Okay. Everything was going according to plan. I was hellbent. Airball couldn't make me discard. I had a huge board that could kill just about anybody. But now that we have the board clear, I've got nothing left. I'm going to need to get really lucky on the top of my deck. Finally! Finally, I get to play this card. I have wanted to play this card forever. I'm going to pay 4 for Arcades the Strategist. 4 mana for a 3/4 flying dragon with vigilance. It says whenever a defender enters the battlefield under my control, I get to draw a card. Each creature you control with defender assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power, and can attack as though they didn't have defender. This is a fun card because I can actually just kill Airball.
Oh my god.
With Wall of Blood. I can take 30. I can take 28 and attack Airball with Wall of Blood.
That's true.
And I would gain all that life back from Sidisi.
That is correct. Yeah. That is
Wait,
that legal.
Okay, this is the only objectively funny thing a Bant deck has ever done in its entire. And it's not even Bant because it needs the black. This is okay. Okay, Arcades gets a pass for this.
I mean,
the Juicy Dragon gets a pass here. Free murder.
Strategically, it's probably better to not. But I think it's funny, so go for it.
It is really funny. Both my creatures are going to come in to Tamiyo.
Ooh.
We're going to send Sidisi and the Wall of Blood to Tamiyo.
That's interesting.
That's the answer to the problem.
I agree.
Hit your lifelink and double block the commander.
I will go ahead and pay 1 life to pump up the Wall of Blood to make it a 1/3 that will deal 3 to Tamiyo. And unfortunately, my commander will go to my graveyard. But I did a thing, and I will pass the turn.
I will gain 7 and Tamiyo will die.
All right, we'll go to my upkeep, and I will ask Maldhound, is there any reason you want to discard cards?
No, pretty please no. Oh God, no.
Okay.
It's not even a good card. It's just the only one I have.
I see. It's like a security blanket.
Pretty
You want to
please-
hold it.
Pretty please no.
Okay. Then, Schultz, we are going to force you to discard 2.
But Tamio, you leave me here with this?
Yeah, good.
Draw my card for turn, and we will pay 8 to return my commander. And we have the same deal, double, double, triple. So we're going to have 12 shrines enter the battlefield.
Oh Lord.
And I'll go to combat, and Ozurtok is going to vigilantly come at Schultz.
It's like I've done something to make you guys mad. We'll throw this to DC.
Your land pile is as tall as my entire graveyard. your pile of lands on field is the size of the loot player's graveyard.
So I will gain a 5 from Sidisi.
And that's all I can do, so I'll pass.
Untap, upkeep trigger, both Genesis and Titania. Titania is going to short me one of these lands from my land pile. And we will get to do something fun. So Titania will trigger. So at the beginning of my upkeep, if there are 4 or more land cards in the graveyard, which we meet, and I control Argoth, Sanctum of Nature, which we do, I get to meld the 2 of them into a rather large creature.
All right, well, with the Titania trigger on the stack, I am going to use the Relic of Legends to tap Goshintai for 1 mana and activate the Sanctum of Shattered Heights, pitching the Skycloud Expanse. And I will deal 12, 13, 14, 15 to Titania.
It feels like overkill.
It might be.
It's just the right amount for a mono green legendary.
We don't like that. We will cast Simic Charm, choosing the mode that permanents I control gain hexproof until end of turn.
Okay.
Gotta do something cool, man. So, Titania Gaia Incarnate is the returned exiled form.
Have fun popping
AKA
that out.
Tree Mommy.
And so, when Titania ETBs, I return all land cards from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped.
From your graveyard?
Again, bro.
So we're coming in with Vigilance, Reach, Trample, and Haste at Airball. 33.
33. Trample?
Trample. Reach.
Sure. Whatever. I'll block with 7 shrines.
All right. I will gain 32.
It's so cool. It's so cool. Then we have somebody at 76 life.
Tap 2 for Shigeki. Shigeki is a 2-mana 1/3 that has an activated ability where I can return it to my hand, reveal the top 4 cards of my library, put a land from them into the battlefield, and mill the rest.
That's really strong. You should do that.
Yeah, I would do that. Can you give it haste? Can you make it go right now?
Cast a Worm Harvest, making a 1/1 black and green worm creature token for each land card in my graveyard.
Which is 0 from the from the flip.
Sequencing.
Oh, good. At least there's one consequence. At least there's one consequence.
You can definitely say Schultz has been punished.
Mm-hmm.
Oh! You did that just to make me find the worm.
Never punished. Now, having spread
Last
the
turn.
dead ashes of my grandpa Yugi onto this deck the night before, the out is going to be right here. Oh, whoa, hold on. Okay, hold on. Let's wait a goddamn minute, everyone. I'm going to tap a blue and a red. I'm going to cast the greatest Is It card ever printed, Expressive Iteration. Now look at the top 3. So, Jeskai Ascendancy is going to go off. Seeker of the Way will get +1/+1 from it. It will get +1/+1 from Prowess. And because I've cast a non-creature spell, it gets lifelink. So I have a 4/4 with lifelink, putting me at board parity with these 2. And then, because I've cast a non-creature, I am going to activate the May of Jeskai Ascendancy and draw a card to discard a card. We're going to get rid of the Storm Chaser Mage. Would be incredibly helpful at a time when my back was not against the wall and it wasn't currently not a test. So now Expressive Iteration will resolve. I'll look at the top 3. One's going to hand, one's going to bottom, and one's going to exile, and I can play the exile. Okay, I'm going to exile Portent. I'm going to put this into my hand. I'm going to put this on the bottom. I'm going to tap this for a blue to cast Portent. Look at the top 3 cards of target player's library, then either shuffle that library or put those 3 cards on top of the library in any order. Draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. So, we're going to do the Time Warp again with Prowess and Jeskai Ascendancy, bringing this up to a 6/6. I'm going to choose to draw a card for Jeskai Ascendancy. I'm going to discard a mountain. And then I've missed 2 now Myth Realized triggers. So I'll get 2 more lore counters on there, going up to 5. So you have one potentially very scary creature, right?
Yes.
He has an incredibly very scary creature.
Yes.
I could use this to make sure that you get something nice and friendly.
Okay.
Will you, obviously you don't have a tremendous amount of power to do so, but will you get him and not me?
Yes.
Okay.
I just threw my commander away to help with the other problem. I have been your friend this whole time.
Well, friends come and go. Cards are forever. Let me see the top 3 of those libraries. Okay.
On a percentage of information gain, you could have seen 3/4 of my
Oh
library.
yeah, I've seen I'll tell you what, I've seen enough of your deck. I would like to see 3 fewer cards from your library, please and thank you. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. These are terrible. I'm going to shuffle your library. These are garbage.
Thank you.
There
There was not a useful thing in the top.
was
3.
not a single useful thing in the top 3. It's like, oh. And then this will go to the graveyard, and I have. I got a 6/6 lifelinker and nowhere to put it.
You want to send it this way? I'll block with a shrine.
Oh, you would be so kind. Thank you, bestie. Yeah, I'll swing 6/6 lifelinker at Airball.
Okay, 1 shrine jumps in front of it. Have your 6.
Wow, Airball at 4, still helping the team.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go ahead and untap, and we'll see what you have done for me. Go to my upkeep.
What I've done for myself.
So now when we say team, we're talking about the decked out team.
You did it!
I did it?
You did it! Oh my god, you did it! I mean, it doesn't win the game. Oh my god, Maldhound put a tiny board clear on the top of my deck. That was pretty perfect. I'm fairly sure Schultz would have died anyway on Airball's turn, but it does slow Airball down as well. So it just looks really good and gives me a good chance to get back in the game.
We have a very strange definition of didding it.
Yeah,
then,
wait,
like-
what is did it? Did it
But it's real close. We're gonna cast off the top, Slaughter the Strong. Each player chooses any number of creatures he or she controls with total mana,
Oh my god.
with total power 4 or less, and then sacrifices all the others.
I did it.
You did it!
I picked my guy.
I picked both of my
I
guys.
picked my one guy.
This isn't that bad for you. It's just this, and it goes
Yeah.
away.
I'm trying to make sure I'm
And
not
your
dead to
shrine
you.
tokens.
How? Why?
Well, I
No,
can keep 3 shrines or 1 shrine in Gaia.
Yeah,
or,
it's additive 4. It's not keep things with 4 or less. It's like, so he,
Which is thank God.
yeah, so yours is.
So I have a choice here. I can either keep 4 shrines and probably stay alive through your turn, Nerd Girl, or I can keep my commander, which will allow me to bring back the mill thing that will kill Schultz.
I don't kill you regardless, right?
Fantastic. So Ozurtalk's going to die. He'll flip, and I will keep my commander and 1 shrine.
All right. That was
I
exciting.
can't believe I did it.
You did do it. All right. Maldhound, I have 3 for you.
So chill. I
Just-
declare no block.
Just a baby.
It's vigilant.
Just to make it so that I can't sit in the sun above starting life total with the rest of you. I get it.
And then I'll pass.
Yes, the rest of us. Upkeep. How many cards in people's hands?
0.
0.
3, but please don't.
I am going to make Schultz discard because I really want to make sure he dies. Yeah, I mean, that's not really gonna help too much, but we're going to activate my commander and we're going to pay Wooburg and return Go Shintai of Lost Wisdom to the battlefield. We saw him earlier. It's the reason Schultz is in some danger as opposed to none. And that's going to create 4 shrines because Ozurtok is no longer around. So we go up to 5 here. One of them summoning, or 4 of them are summoning sick, 1 isn't, but that one isn't going anywhere. And we'll just pay the remaining 2 for Starfield Mystic. It's a 2/2 for 2. Enchantments cost 1 less for me to cast, and when an enchantment goes into the graveyard from the battlefield, then put a +1/+1 counter on it. And of course, that will be doubled by Primal Vigor. And I'll pass to my end step. We're going to pay 1. Schultz, would you be so kind as to mill 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards?
No. Oh,
No,
4. Best and final offer.
I'll take it. You drive a hard bargain.
So I will upkeep Trigger Genesis. Activate Shigeki. And we'll attempt to draw from an empty library.
I did my part.
That's a great meme. So, a short turn for me.
All right. And this is where the fair and upstanding Jeskai player crawls it all the way back. I'm going to play this mountain for turn. I'm going to tap a blue. Well, I'll untap my 1 creature first. I'm going to tap a blue, play Thought Scour, which is target player puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard and then draw a card. And then the Time Warp begins again. We get Prowess, we get Jeskai Ascendancy, taking this to a 4/4 with lifelink. I get a counter onto Myth Realized. I get to draw a card, which I'm going to do. Then I get to discard a card. I'm going to discard Overmaster. And then I will resolve Thought Scour, and I'll put the top 2 of my library into my graveyard, pitching Volatile Fjord and Opt. And then I will draw a card. Sick. And then I'm going to tap another blue to cast Serum Visions. We're going to go back through the process of Prowess, Jeskai Ascendancy, bringing this to 6/6. We're going to put 1 more lore counter onto Myth Realized. I am going to choose to draw a card for Jeskai Ascendancy. I'm going to dump Accelerate to my graveyard.
Yeah.
And then I will draw my card for Serum Visions, and now I get to scry 2. And remember, knowledge is power, kids. I will keep both of them on top as they are. Then I will tap a red and a blue for the Third Path Iconoclast. Third Path Iconoclast, Army in a Can. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, make a 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature token. Now, deck doesn't have that many non-creatures, so it's not going to get too out of hand. But after that, I'll tap a red and a white for the Soulfire Grand Master, which is a 2/2 with lifelink. Instant and sorcery spells I control have lifelink, which is again kind of a non-bow because the deck doesn't have a lot of those. And then I can do 2 and then 2 hybrid red or blue mana for the next time I cast an instant or sorcery from my hand. I put it into my hand instead of my graveyard as it resolves, which again is like a weird deck building choice since this is a creature forward deck. But you know, I like what I like. And then we will move to combat with a 6/6 lifelinker, and I mean, Airball, is there any chance you want to let me just bounce off one of your shrines again?
I would love nothing more than for you to bounce off one of my shrines.
You don't, at this point, you're going to do that?
Oh, like you're not the villain. Oh, like you're not the enemy.
This is going to kill us in like 2 turns. Are you kidding?
Kill you in 2 turns. I'm going to hold back because these 2 are important to me, and I would like to be able to throw the Seeker under the bus of your Wall of Blood. I'll pass.
That's fine.
I am not the bad guy.
That will kill me in very specifically like 3 turns. That will kill me right now.
I know you're dead right now.
Oh, no.
One of you is very dead right now.
It's me.
Oh, thanks for shuffling my Maldhound. Thanks for shuffling my library.
You're welcome. So you're going to get him first, right?
You're hellbent.
Yes.
So I think I have the best chance against you. How many shrines do you have in your graveyard to bring back?
I think none. None. I can bring any enchantment back, and there's 1 target. It's the Sanctum Weaver.
Okay. So I can kill you at another time.
No, you can't. You can only do it right now.
So for 2 mana, we're going to cast Tetsuko Uezama.
Oh, God.
Ha.
That's gross.
Tetsuko
So
is a
cool.
1/3 that says creatures I control with power or toughness 1 or less can't be blocked, which is perfect for the Wall of Blood. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pay 1 life to make Wall of Blood a 1/3. Drawing Tetsuko off the top means I can kill any player, but I have a decision to make. I can kill Airball and have a tiny dent in my life, and then play my commander next turn and gain the life back on Maldhound, or I can kill Maldhound here and race Airball. All right, the comments are going to be really mean to me for this, but I think I have my play.
Okay.
If Airball draws it, he draws it, it's 1 action, and I'm dead, and that's fine. Maldhound, if you were to find it, it'll be 1,000 actions, and I will have to sit here and watch you do them, which I'm not willing to do.
Rude.
So, Maldhound, this is for you. Wall of Omen and Arcades are both coming for you.
Okay, I don't accept.
All right, so this is 5 damage total. How much more do I need?
34.
So I will pay 34 life and kill you after blocks are declared. And then I go, oh my gosh.
What world are we in that I am now rooting for a Shrines player? What? Every time I come here, it's like a core part of my personality is just ripped out of my brain, and it's like, nope, you're teamed up with the Elves deck now. You're hoping the Shrine player takes it all.
Okay. Airball, please draw like a creature that is not a shrine.
Hey, Maldhound, would you shuffle my deck for me, please?
No, why? Why do you have to shuffle your deck?
I don't get to. There's nothing that says I get to, but the deck is randomized, so it's kind of like asking him to blow on it for me.
Yeah.
And he shuffled yours so well.
But now if he draws it, that's not what was on top.
Well, I think that's just going to be a controversy.
Yeah, you got to teach the controversy.
Judge.
Hey, it sounds like you just don't want Airball to get the exact same assistance you got earlier in the game.
There was a card. Please be a soul ring, soul ring, soul ring, soul ring, soul ring, soul ring, soul ring.
I'm going to untap. NerdGirl, you're going to discard your hand.
I don't have
such as
one.
it is. Okay.
Soul ring. Soul ring. Oh, God damn it. He's huffing, so that means it's probably not one of the 2 main things, but it's probably a good card.
That's exactly right. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to pass.
What? Excuse me?
I'm going to pass.
This is crazy.
What is it? 1, 2, 3. I will tap all of my mana. And we're going to replay my commander, Ikra Sidisi. It's going to make me hopefully gain some life. And we're going to go to combat.
Okay. At your beginning of combat step, because I don't know if there's something that will let me tap down your stuff or not, we're going to pay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then using the relic, 9, 10. Because of World Tree, all of this will let me make double Wooburg. And I'll put that 10 into the World Tree and crack it to put any number of gods from my library into play.
Okay, you tapped your flyer, so that actually might help.
Maybe.
Because that means maybe these two are lethal if you find an answer for the wall.
This
Nothing?
is not the out.
There is one god in the deck. Meet Perforos, who is not turned on because my devotion is not high enough.
Oh.
Perforos is a 6/5 indestructible as long as your devotion to red is less than 5. Perforos isn't a creature. My devotion to red is currently 1, 2, and attack away.
Okay, I guess now that your flyer is untapped, I can attack with all 3 things.
Yep.
That is 3, 4, and just for good measure, I will take 4 to pump up the wall just in case.
Sure.
That?
Yep. Good game. Well, I couldn't top deck the shrine or land I needed to shut down NerdGirl, but you know what they say. If at first you don't succeed, shrine again.
I don't know that I've ever dug through so much of my deck to accomplish so very little, but luckily for me, this game is not measured in whether you win or lose, it's measured in how many triggers you miss. And in that respect, I'm still on top, baby.
My deck got to do the thing, but after getting milled down, I didn't have the endurance for a longer game.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought after that first board clear, I was done for. But drawing Arcades, a board clear, Tetsuko, and a Wall of Blood was a pretty amazing series of events. I guess it just shows you can't keep a big booty girl down.
Thanks again to our episode sponsor, Elgato.
There is no better time to upgrade your work from home or spell table setup than right now. We have a 5% off code, ZZ-MNG. You can find that and the link down below in the description, where you guys can pick up a ton of really cool accessories that would support us in a really big way.
And honestly, it's very easy to say good things about Elgato because we do use all of this equipment. And as always, supporting our sponsors supports us. So that's a win for everybody.
Woohoo!
But first, the oldest type of cavalry charge. I think that was in the Art of War, actually. Was face your donker towards your opponent and clap it towards them most ferociously.
Tales of Adventure is one of our biggest sponsors, and the best way to support us is by buying Magic cards. You are going to do this anyway, so why would you go anywhere else, especially when you get 5% off of your orders with our specialized code?
TOA has an amazing selection of singles, and they even specialize in premium cards. So make sure you head on over to TOA with the link down below in the description and use code DECKEDOUT at checkout for that 5% off and to support your favorite Commander show. Just seeing what other, I have an unexpected army of spiders here that I was just...
Unexpected spinfall. Get it?
Ultimate Guard is the industry leader in TCG accessories. We love their stuff, and we know you will too. In fact, every single playmat, sleeve, or deck box featured on this show is an Ultimate Guard product.
And we use Ultimate Guard to protect our own personal collections on a day-to-day basis.
So make sure to use the link in the description to support our channel and treat yourself to some amazing upgrades.
No, there's nothing but the abyss and Narset's sweet little feet on your face.
When you stare into Narset's feet,
Yeah.
Narset's feet stare back at you. Yeah.
Moxfield is the best deck list site available. It has everything you need to customize, compare, and collaborate. View and brew the way that works for you. Moxfield is the only way that we can track and share all of our spiciest builds here on the show, and whatever Veggie is playing. Make sure to follow our Moxfield profile in the link in the description.
We'd like to take a minute to thank our patrons. Without your support, these episodes would not be possible.
Thank you so much for everything that you've done so far, and we are only a few patrons away from continuing our weekly episodes, so now, like any time, is the perfect time to support if you've really been enjoying these episodes every week.
And you can also unlock a bunch of other perks too, like signed tokens from not only us, but also our guests. You could even get into some spell table games with us using all that fancy new Elgato gear you just picked up, and even get your deck list played on the show by one of us.
And as always, you can support us by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. That's always a big help. I think that's everything we've got for you for today.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time on
Decked Out.